You have to wear it. You're going up to Balmoral and it's really cold up there. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh have been self-isolating at Windsor Castle now for about 5 months, and soon they're heading north to Scotland and their beloved Balmoral Castle. As a tribute, as a celebration, because I know how much the Queen loves Balmoral, I'm going to show you how to make the Scottish shortbread that I used to make every Balmoral. Traditional Scottish shortbread is normally flour, butter, and a sugar. It can be granulated sugar, it can be powdered sugar, but they're the 3 basic ingredients. The royal recipe, we add cornstarch too, and cornstarch softens the shortbread. It makes it less glutinous, and it, instead of going, when you break it like that and snapping, it crumbles, it melts in your mouth. It's just melt in your mouth, gorgeous, delicious. Let me show you how to make it. We start off with the flour and add the powdered sugar and the butter and then the cornstarch all into one bowl. A little salt, and I've got some vanilla paste which I'll add in just a second. It's such an easy dish to make, and you just rub together all of those ingredients, and it's best to do it by hand. Get the butter nice and soft and just rub all those ingredients until they start to come together as nice crumbs, and that's when we'll add the vanilla paste and bring it together into a ball that we can roll out. I used to make shortbread at least once a week at Balmoral, and it was always on the afternoon tea menu. All of the staff look forward to going to Balmoral, and Balmoral's a 50,000 acre estate, and it's so pretty. It's just absolutely gorgeous countryside, and we couldn't wait to get up there. The chefs love Balmoral Castle. It's a 50,000 acre estate, and it's just full of local ingredients and produce. The venison off the estate, the salmon from the River Dee, everything is so fresh. And then to top it all, it has its own vegetable garden that supplies the house for the whole time that the Queen and the family are up there. Beautiful raspberries and strawberries. I even remember the Queen picking those berries when she was at Balmoral, and it's just a fabulous place to go. It's so relaxing, it's so calming, and you can see why the Queen wants to get up to Balmoral. I love going back to Balmoral. I host culinary trips to Scotland. Come with me on my next trip. The link is in the description. Once the shortbreads all come together, I'm then going to put it into my mold. I've got a shortbread mold like we used at Balmoral, and you can probably see the little thistle on there. The thistle is the emblem of Scotland. Tradition had it that during the war, years and years ago, the English were fighting the Scots, and back in those days, of course, no one wore shoes. They'd run in bare feet and have swords, and well, the Scots were sleeping, and the evil English thought they would attack during the night, and they ran and attacked the Scots. But as they ran through this field, it was full of thistles, and they got stuck in their feet, and they were screaming and shouting. It woke the Scots, and it saved the day, and the Scots won the battle. Now, I don't know if that's true. It sounds good. It may have been something that was invented over a wee dram of whiskey in the pub somewhere, but it sounds good, doesn't it? So that's what I'm going with. That's the thistle, the emblem of Scotland on there. So with my mold, and if you can't get a mold, I put a link in the description below so you can order one. I'm going to put some flour in there first so that my shortbread doesn't stick. Then I can take some of the shortbread and just mold it nicely together and put it into the mold and press. And all I'm doing is pressing that down into the mold. And once I've done that, I take my knife and just run it across the top to take off the excess. If you look closely, you can see those gorgeous flakes of vanilla beans in there. That's my Madagascan vanilla bean paste, and I've told you about that before, and there's a link in the description if you can't get that from your local store. Then it drops out into your hand. Look at that. Oh, you can see that pretty thistle on there. Onto some parchment paper. Now, if you don't want to use the mold, you can use a little cutter and roll out the dough and then just cut the little discs in there. Make some little cookies. They're absolutely gorgeous. Once the shortbread is on the tray, I then have to pierce the top with a fork. And what this does is, as the shortbread bakes, the heat goes into the base of the shortbread and helps it cook faster. Don't worry about all those holes in there. They're going to be full of sugar. When it comes out of the oven, we do a really nice sprinkle over the top. Now, all we need to do is put it in the oven, 350 degrees, for about 20 minutes. Once the shortbread's done and a nice golden brown, we can take it out of the oven to cool. Look at that, and it smells gorgeous. But before it cools, we have to cut it, score it into little wedges. Otherwise, when you try and break it later once it's cold, it'll just break in all sorts of pieces. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. So carefully go into the shortbread, but you're only going like a third of the way down. It's such a delicious shortbread, a versatile shortbread. If you want to flavor this, you can put some lavender in there, you can put some orange or lemon zest, you can put some chocolate chips in for the kids, some cranberries. It's such an easy recipe to make as well, that you can get the kids involved in cooking it too. Then a little sugar over the top. Okay, a lot of sugar. But we can't cut into it yet all the way because it's still soft in the center. We've only scored it ready for once it's cold, it'll be easier to break. Now we leave it for about an hour to cool, and then we can serve it. Once it's cooled down, we can then lift it off the tray onto the plate. And because we've scored it, remember, we went through with the knife just a little way. When we put it onto the plate, we can tilt it backwards and it'll just start to break where we want it to in the right pieces. And the same on this side. Doesn't it look amazing? Imagine this on the table at Balmoral for afternoon tea. All we need is a cup of tea, a little piece of shortbread. Look how crumbly and gorgeous that is. It's so sweet. It's not crunchy because of the cornstarch in there. It needs some tea, a little Earl Grey. Balmoral Scottish Shortbread. Absolutely melt in your mouth, delicious. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Click on the subscription below if you've not subscribed. Leave a comment. Click a like for me too. Oh. You want some shortbread, don't you? Well, you've been good. You've still got your jacket on. You can have half a shortbread, okay? Sit. Good boy.